In this video, we will discuss about graphing transformation. We will explore how the graph shifted vertically and horizontally, and how the graph reflected about the x-axis or reflected about the y-axis. For the vertical shifts, this happens when we add or subtract k in the function y. So for the equation y equal to f of x plus k, the graph is shifted k units upward. When the equation is y equal to f of x minus k, the graph is shifted k units downward. Next is for the horizontal shifts. And this happens when we replace x by x plus h and replace x by x minus h. So if the equation is y equal to f of x plus h, the graph is shifted h units to the left. And when the equation is y equal to f of x minus h, the graph is shifted h units to the right. For the last transformation is about reflection. And this happens when y or x is multiplied by a negative 1. So if the equation is y equal to negative of f of x, the graph is reflected about the x-axis. And when the equation is y equal to f of minus x, the graph is reflected about the y-axis. Let us start with the first example. Graph the function f of x equal to absolute value of x plus 1 minus 2 using transformation. Write all the steps. When we say write all the steps, we have to define and describe each step of transformation. So to start with, based from this given function, we will identify the parent function or the basic function. So let g of x equal to absolute of x be the basic function. Then based from this function, we can see that there is horizontal shift 1 unit to the left and a vertical shift 2 units downward. So if we will start with horizontal shift, we have to replace this x by x plus 1 if the graph is shifted horizontally 1 unit left. So the new function is g of x equal to absolute value of x plus 1. So we replace x by x plus 1 to get this function. And the transformation is shifted 1 unit left. And then the next transformation, so after shifting 1 unit left, is we need to subtract 2 in this y function. So your new function will be the original function or the given function, which is absolute value of x plus 1 minus 2. So the graph transformation is shifted 2 units downward. So now we can graph the basic function and the given function. So to graph the basic function, we will start substituting 0 in x. When x is 0, y is 0. When x is 1, y is 1. When x is negative 1, y is 1. So we will connect these points using a broken line, and we can label this as g of x, which is absolute value of x. So based on the transformation, we have to shift 1 unit to the left and shift 2 units downward. So if I will start with this point, I will shift this 1 unit to the left and then 2 units downward. So the new point will be here at negative 1, negative 2. And then for this point, we will shift 1 unit to the left and then 2 units downward. So the new point will be 0, minus 1. And for this point, we will shift 1 unit to the left and 2 units downward. So the new point is negative 2, negative 1. And then connecting these 2 points, using a line. So this is the graph of the function, which is equal to absolute value of x plus 1 minus 2. Now, if you can see here in this given function, the graphing transformation is horizontal shift and a vertical shift. If we will try to change the order of the transformation by first shifting 2 units vertically and then shifting 1 unit left horizontally, then we will get the same function. So let us try that. So from the same point, if I will shift this 2 units downward and then 1 unit to the left, so this point, it will give me 2 units downward and then 1 unit to the left. So you will see that it points out to the same point. And this point, 2 units downward and 1 unit to the left, and another point, 2 units downward and 1 unit to the left. Meaning, the order of the transformation of the horizontal shift and vertical shift doesn't matter. It will not change the graph of the function. So that is the solution for this example 1. For the second example, we will graph the function f of x equal to negative square root of x minus 1 plus 2 using transformations. Write all the steps. When we say write all steps, we have to define and describe each step of transformation. So we will start by identifying what are the transformation in this function. So we can see here that inside the square root is x minus 1, means there's a shifting horizontally 1 unit to the right, and there's a negative outside the square root, so negative in this y function. So there is a reflection about the x-axis, and this plus 2 is a vertical shift 2 units upward. So if we will do this step by step, we will define the basic function. And the basic function is we will let g of x equal to the square root of x. So this is the parent function of this function, negative is square root of x minus 1 plus 2. So we have to remove the horizontal transformation, the vertical transformation, and the reflection. So we will have square root of x as the basic function or the parent function. So if we will graph this parent function, so we can put x as 0, 1, and 4. So when x is 0, y is 0. When x is 1, y is 1. And when x is 4, y is 2. So connecting these 3 points using a curve and a broken, so this is the graph of function g, which is square root of x. Now, the first transformation that we can apply is replacing x by x minus 1. So the g of x will be g1 of x, which is equal to the square root of x minus 1. It means the graph is shifted 1 unit to the right. And then after that is we can multiply this term by a negative. So negative in the y. So the second function of g is equal to, we have a square root of x minus 1. So this is the y function multiplying y by a negative 1. So it means the graph is a reflection about x-axis because the negative is in the y. And then lastly, you will add 2. So we are done with this in the first term. So we can now add 2, which is the function f, which is equal to negative square root of x minus 1 added by 2. So meaning the graph is shifted 2 units upward. So from this parent function and this graph of g here, we will now do the transformation in this order. First is shifting 1 unit to the right, then the reflection about the x-axis, and then shifting 2 units upward. So on this first point, we're going to shift 1 unit to the right, and then reflecting about the x-axis will stay on the same point, and then shifting 2 units upward. So that will be the first point for this. And then for this second point, we will do the same transformation, shifting 1 unit to the right, and then reflecting about the x-axis, and then shifting 2 units up. So that's the second point. And then for the third point, shifting 1 unit to the right, and then reflection about the x-axis, and then 2 units up. So the point will be here. And then connecting these points. So the graph will be like that. So this is your function f. So for the last example in graphing transformation, let us graph the function square root of 2 minus x using transformations. We will use two ways. The first way, or method 1, is we will start horizontal shift, then reflection about the y-axis. So let us start by rewriting the function into square root of negative x plus 2. Then we will define the basic function. So let g of x equal to square root of x. So if we will start horizontal shift, we will replace x by x plus 2. So your function would be square root replacing x by x plus 2, meaning you have to shift 2 units left. Then after that, this negative here is negative in x, so means your function, which is equal to the square root of x plus 2 and multiplying negative in the x, so this is reflection about y-axis because you multiplied negative in x. So we can start graphing the basic function or the parent function, which is the square root of x. So when x is 0, y is 0. When x is 1, y is 1. When x is 4, y is 2. So let's connect this using a curve with an arrow. And then this is your function g. And to graph for the function f, we will follow the order of this transformation. So we have to shift every point 2 units to the left and then reflecting about the y. So first point is 2 units to the left and then reflecting about the y-axis. So the point will be here, first point. Next is this point, shifting 2 units to the left and then reflecting about the y-axis. So the second point. Then for the last point, 2 units to the left and then reflecting about the y-axis. So the graph of f will be like this. So this is your f. So let us try the second method by interchanging the order of transformation, wherein we will start with reflection about the y-axis and then horizontal shift. So let us rewrite again the function with f of x is equal to square root of negative x plus 2. Since we will start with reflection about the y-axis, we have to separate the reflection in the horizontal shift by factoring out the negative. Square root negative, if we will factor out the negative, so we will have negative x minus 2. So this is our function. So now let g of x be the parent function, which is the square of x. So let's graph again. 0, 0, 1, 1, and 4, 2. And then connecting this using a smooth curve. So this is your function g. And then since we are reflecting about the y-axis first, so we meaning on this x we'll multiply x by a negative. So the function will be g1, which is equal to square root of x multiplying with the negative. So this means this is reflection about y-axis because we multiply negative in x. And then finally, so to come up with this function, we have to replace this x by x minus 2. So square root of negative, if we replace x by x minus 2, meaning the graph is shifted 2 units to the right. So let's graph this. So starting with the parent function that we graph here, then for every point, we can reflect the transformation in this order. First is reflection about the y-axis, and then after that is shifting 2 units to the right. So on the first point, if we will reflect this about the y-axis, it will stay on the same point and then moving 2 units to the right. So it will be at 0. The next point, reflecting about the y-axis, so it will be here, and then shifting 2 units to the right will be the same point here. And then the third point, so this is reflecting about the y-axis. It will move on this side and then 2 units to the right, 1, 2. And then now connecting these 3 points using a curve. So this is your function f. Now, if you will compare, they have the same graph. And what we did here in method 1, we started first with horizontal shift before reflection. But on method 2, we start with the reflection and then horizontal shift. And you will notice that their difference also, when we interchange the transformation, the shifting here is shifting 2 units to the left, but on method 2, the shifting is 2 units to the right. So this is how you will graph this function. That is the end of this video. If you find this video useful, please like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on the future content.